Good morning, business builders. Jody here, ready for your Top Tip Tuesday. And if you are watching live on YouTube, well, actually, if you're watching the recording on YouTube, I'm the co-founder of The 7 Effect, where we help you design your dream life and build your dream business. So this week, as I do every week, I'm coming to you with some live top tips for our Lifestyle Business Builder members. So within the program, we have a post every Tuesday morning where people can jump in and ask questions. And so if you are tuning in live, I see we've got one set of eyeballs on us. Please say hi so I know who's here. And let me just bring up the chat bubble. So good morning, Lucy. We have Lucy with us. Great to see you here, Luce. I'm really thrilled that you've tuned in. If you have any questions, please type them in the comments below. We did have Michelle Jules Parson pop up a really good comment about yesterday's post I did on Facebook, to website or not to website. So I thought this week's top tips, I would talk about websites, webinars, and weekend events. Hello, Tony. We've got Tony tuning in as well. Great to see you here. So I'm going to start firstly with weekend events. We, on the weekend, hosted our very first live life design showcase. Now, this was a fantastic event. We had about 24 people in the room and 8 different speakers. What happened is we did our boot camp at the start of the year, our startup boot camp. And on one of those 4 days, so the boot camp, we do 4 days where we teach getting your 6-figure plan, building a high value product or service, as well as how to turn your story into an inspiring keynote presentation. Look, we've got Carrie here as well. Hello, hi there. I'm here for a couple of minutes before the school run and I posted a question too. Oh, let me go check for the question as well, Carrie. And we've got Suzanne here. Morning, just jumped out of my cold shower. You're still on the cold showers. Well done you, Suzanne. That's fantastic. So Carrie, I'm just going to quickly jump in and come to your question first, if you've only got a couple of minutes. So let me see it. 2 comments. Carrie, here we are. I found it, Carrie. Look at that. Now I have a contract with a local council. Yay! To run a workshop for them. Can I say that I run workshops for them, am a supplier to them, even though it hasn't happened yet? I'm doing a JV, Taster Wellness Workshop in October and wonder whether to put it in the marketing material. I would just say working with councils is perfectly fine. And you could also say that you are you're booked in to do it. So you just say the truth. It's absolutely fantastic that you're going to get that ongoing work with councils, but I would definitely let one council know that this is what other councils are doing, if that makes sense. So let's say I meet with Council ABC and I've booked in with Council XYZ. I might say to Council ABC, look, I've already secured some work with Council XYZ. They were really excited about bringing this to their community. I think it's going to be a huge value add. This is something I'd love to propose for this council as well. So absolutely mention it, but until you've done it, then I would talk about having done it. But whilst you haven't done it, I would just let people know that it's locked in and that you are actually going to be working with councils and hopefully taking that same work to councils right across South Australia. I don't know if you're up for travel to regional areas, Carrie, but whatever takes off in the city, if you get a metropolitan council and the program works well, regional people will often be very receptive to bringing that into their community, because often regional councils get a bit starved of opportunities like that. So hopefully that has answered your question. Please feel free to comment below. Good morning, Michelle is here. Thank you for the inspo. I'm going to be talking about websites, webinars, and weekend events. And Suzanne said it was a great weekend and she learned so much. Life Design Showcase. So let's come back to that. Weekend events, here's my hot tip around them. Get involved. Given that we've been in lockdown for some time and given that coronavirus has now started to ease off the restrictions here in South Australia, we can get out and about and we can connect with people. And I would recommend, having done what we did on the weekend, that you start thinking right now about your calendar for 2021, and that you make a commitment to find some nice community central accommodation, or what would I call it, a venue. If you're not here in Adelaide, but you're somewhere else. If you're in Adelaide, come and chat to me about using the Life Design space. I know that at the Good Hub, where Suzanne's office is based, that's another beautiful space you can run events. But even go to your local council and ask them what spaces they have available to host events. And then I really recommend that you just look to get a small group of people together in a room and do something fun with them. The feedback that we got from the Life Design Showcase, which was the 8 participants from our 4-day boot camp, sharing their keynote that they created in the 4-day boot camp, one after the other. I was the MC. We had 2 speakers, then morning tea, 2 speakers, then lunch, 2 speakers, then afternoon tea, then 2 speakers to close. The agenda flowed really well, and everyone spoke for 45 minutes. So we started at 9:30, we finished at 5:30. We charged $50 for people to be in the room. I put on a really lovely morning tea. We had a full hour for lunch so people could go out and buy their own lunch. And at the end of the session, the feedback was an amazing day. We need to do more of this. It was so nice to spend the day with people who are supporting and building other people up. So it didn't take that much effort to pull this thing off. And the big tip I would give you all, if you want to start hosting some weekend or some evening or even some weekday events, depending on your target audience, is a nice starting point, a price point is $50. Years ago, we used to do free events at the 7 Effect to promote our Business Builder program, but we found that you get too many tire kickers for free events, and a lot of people will register but not show up. So now we always charge for our events like that. $50 is an easy price. Make sure you add massive value, but you then, of course, have the opportunity to use that event as an invitation to come and do deeper work with you. So it's a bit like running a live webinar. You don't need a lot of people in the room to make an impact. The other thing that's really good for events like this is it's just a great relationship and community builder. So I was having a chat with one of our students, Belinda, and we were talking. So she works in the corporate world. She's all about conflict resolution, and she's a conflict coach. What corporate company doesn't need to solve how they do conflict within the organizations? As a leadership coach coming off the back of 7 years of doing executive coaching and workplace culture, I know that there's massive issues in the workplace around conflict. So we came up with an idea for her to launch her partnership proposal. So we've put together her big proposal, modeling what we did in our first year with that 12-month partnership. The beautiful thing about that is Belinda only needs 3 clients to get to her 6 figures. But I suggested, why don't you host some morning teas? And you can do a couple of different topics. They can go for, 90 minutes. You'll do 30 minutes, 15-minute cup of tea and a little cake or something. And then another bit of Q&A presentation. When I was in the corporate world, we used to do these a lot. We'd often do breakfasts. And it really does work as a great way to get people together, to get ideas sharing, and to strengthen your brand within the community. The other bonus about it is it's fantastic market research. If you're clever, you will do lots of questioning and lots of engaging your audience and finding out what's going on with them in their world. So you'll learn a lot more about what your market needs. So that's the first one, weekend events. The second one that I wanted to talk about is webinars. So good morning, Marty. Great to see you. So good to see everyone on Saturday. Wasn't it a fantastic event? And we will absolutely be doing those again. So if you want to join the Startup 4-day bootcamp, it's going to be happening either February or March next year. We've got a goal by the end of October. Our entire 2021 calendar will be up and ready, and people can literally just book into it from the website. But yeah, everyone that attends the boot camp next year will do the same thing. We'll host another showcase. They'll all be the speakers, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, great opportunity. Thanks, Marty, for coming along and supporting the crew as well. Good morning, Sue. Great job on the weekend. Sue was one of our speakers, of course, as was Suzanne Ingleton. So let's talk about webinars. I'd love to know from those of you that are watching who is using them right now. So just type in the comments either a yes or a no if you are currently using webinars. Now, webinars are a really great way to host events without having to hire a venue and go anywhere and do all of that cool kind of stuff. The other thing is you don't need a fancy platform now like Easy Webinar or whatever the WebEx and whatever all those webinar platforms, GoToWebinar and those things. You don't actually need anything like that to be able to do webinars. A Zoom account is really a simple way to run a webinar. You can have your slides as a shared screen. Everyone will tune in. You'll see their faces at the top, which is really nice to be able to create engagement. Or you can create it where their cameras are all switched off, or they can be in charge and get to switch their camera off if they like. Now, the reason I like webinars is because they're very fast, easy, and free to set up. So if you've got a Zoom account. If you don't have a Zoom account, you could do some micro webinars where you do a free Zoom account and you just literally do 30-minute micro webinars. So we've got Sue saying, yes, she's done some webinars. Would love to hear how you find them. Lucy, occasionally. And Marty, yes, done a couple, but host weekly classes. Great. So webinars, I would say you want to give yourself a good 3-week lead up and you want to try and get at least 50, if not 100 people registered. Now, we used to always run ads to our webinars, and on average, we'd get about 80 or 90 people registered. We'd get about 20 to 30 people show up, and then we'd get about 5 to 10 people actually enroll in our programs. And the way I used to do webinars was it was a very specific webinar that led to the perfect pitch at the end. And then literally people would jump into the Lifestyle Business Builder, and it was fantastic. So a webinar is a really wonderful tool that you can use to actually educate your clients, but you design the webinar so that it educates them and excites them about the opportunity to work deeper with you. And then at the end, you create the pitch so that you're actually getting people to say yes in the moment. So this is what we're going to be doing this week. In fact, tomorrow in our Scale Up Bootcamp, day 1 is all about webinars. And so I've got a template that I'm going to be taking everyone through. We've got 9 people in the boot camp. If there's anyone in LBB that's based in Adelaide that wants to jump in, we had 10, we were fully booked, but Jen had to drop out. There is one spot if anyone wants to jump in last minute, but I will be doing a walkthrough of the template with you guys as a business craft class in LBB as well. But what we're going to do in tomorrow's boot camp is we are literally going to break down the psychology of a webinar that converts. Right from the start, the setup, the introduction, the way we teach, the way we pitch, and then the way we actually close and get people to convert and become paying clients. It's a pretty exciting thing. The best that I've ever done, my record on a webinar, is about $59,000 from one event. Now, I didn't get paid that immediately, but the overall sales was about $59,000. That's where I'm at with those things. And we used to do them once a month and it was fantastic. I literally used to just fill up LBB between November, December, January and February, and then we wouldn't bother selling anything throughout the year. I'm changing my strategy slightly, but I wanted to share with you, one of the guys in Black Belt has just done a mega webinar. It's actually like more of a sort of a 2-day epic event online. And he got, I I don't know, thousands of people there and involved. And this guy's very good at just pumping it up and getting people excited. But guess how much money he made from that 2-day event? How many new students he got into his program? He actually converted $732,000 from a 2-day event. So you can go incredibly big with these things once you get the hang of it and once you really refine your message. But if we don't worry about going to 732,000 and you just ask yourself, would it be nice just to make 7,300 from a webinar? Imagine if you had a webinar that converted so well and that you had an ad that ran to that webinar that you knew you could literally have that webinar working for you and bringing in $10,000 a month. Would it be worth setting up? Absolutely. So if anyone's interested in that, make sure you jump on calls, make sure you show up to the business craft classes, or make sure you book into the boot camp, because that's where we'll be unpacking those things. It's a strategy that works, and I absolutely love to do it. It used to terrify the pants off of me, but now I actually find webinars so fun. And Joe's saying, yes, so looking forward to the boot camp. Me too, Joe. Plus we've got a full day with Amy, which is going to be amazing. We're also going to be building your lead generation machine, and we're going to be looking at strategies to create high value joint ventures and partnerships. And the exciting thing is, at the boot camp, you're going to start reaching out to those partners and building the relationship. So it's really nice to take 4 days out and just start doing the work. By the end of tomorrow, you will all have your webinar slide deck ready to rock and roll, which I can't wait for. Sue says, perfect, I need this. It's going to be a lot of fun, Sue. And Sue says about webinars, have only just done 2 in another group and looking to run my own after boot camp. Giddy up. It's going to be great. And I'm looking forward to helping you design it, Sue. So we want to get one that you really love to deliver, but that also converts. That's what we're going to be doing for the webinars tomorrow. All right, look, we got Trish jumped in. Good morning, Trish. We've been talking about weekend events, webinars, and what I want to talk about now, finally, is websites. So Michelle Jules Parson posted a comment in our Top Tip Tuesday underneath, and she said, I would really love it if you could go a little bit deeper into the website post that you did yesterday on Facebook, particularly for some of the people who are just getting started. It might be beneficial. So thank you, Michelle. Great tip from you for me to be able to talk on this. So yesterday I did a Facebook post. I wrote a Facebook post, but it's all being outsourced and scheduled for me, which is very exciting. And it talked about the question, to website or not to website. When you are starting out in business, is the very first thing you do build a website? My advice is no. What I see people doing a lot of the time when they're starting out, and when I say starting out, I mean you're at level 1, which is ambition, level 2, which is faith, or level 3, structure. Anywhere below those 3 levels, if you're not making at least 2 or 3 grand a month yet, my advice is don't get too caught up in your website right away. There's much better things that you can be doing to start making money. And please don't think that I'm against websites. As Michelle said, she's the only funeral celebrant in South Australia that actually has a website, and she probably gets about 4 or 5 funerals a year, I think, consistently from her website, from it just being there. Her website can help people find her when they're Googling. It's also a place where they can buy her book, An Emotional Will. So a website can become a wonderful asset in your business, but it's not the first thing that you should do. The reason why is, number one, I often see websites as a space people bury themselves into to procrastinate and avoid actually putting themselves out there and getting the work, getting the runs on the board. If you build a website too early, you'll end up having to rebuild the whole thing anyway. If you've not done any work as a coach or a consultant with paying clients and you don't know your marketplace intimately and deeply, then I would hang off of building a website just for a little bit. Instead, what I recommend is you go out and you get your case study clients. Minimum of 3, I recommend striving for 10. Find 10 people who you can take on a journey through your high value program. Before you even do that, obviously you want to work with me to actually unpack and go, right, what is your high value program going to be? We teach all of that in the case study. Basically, that's a step-by-step to go, right, how do I build my high-value program? How do I launch my high-value program? And how do I fill and then deliver my high-value program? And most of the people in that space start out with a program that ranges from $500 to $1,500, $790, the sweet spot in the middle. Get 10 people. The program costs $790. You make $7,900 from doing it. 10x your money, which is fantastic. But then it set you up with a foundation where that same program can actually eventually become a $2,000 or a $3,000 program and evolve from there. So the very first thing you want to do is build your high value program. Think about the package of the best of you. Then you want to put it out there, do your call outs, and invite people to come and join you on that program. Take them through the journey. Deliver epic transformational coaching, consulting, facilitation, whatever it is you do. Work your magic. Capture the results. Even start to capture some of the things that you're teaching along the journey and share that stuff on social media. So rather than having to go through the hassle of building a website right from the get-go, by all means, if you know what your business domain name is, grab that and get that set aside. It doesn't cost too much money. But the first step I would recommend is pick your social media platform, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, or some other platform. YouTube could be another one. And start putting the focus on getting your first 100 followers and sharing content on there. This is so important because it helps you find your voice. And we all know that if you've been in the Lifestyle Business Builder for some time, we all have this hidden ugly folder. It's the stuff that we did when we started out. And as you go through the Lifestyle Business Builder and you start getting feedback on your brand and you start refining and polishing your copy and your look and your feel and what you stand for and what you stand against, you'll find that the website you would build 6 months after the process will be very different to the website you would build going in as a rookie and not knowing what you're doing. So my big top tip for you all around websites is, yes, one day build one, but do know it is not the very first thing you should be doing. The very first thing you should be doing is helping people get results through the process that you want to guide them through. The very first thing you should do before you actually do that is crunch your numbers using the coach's calculator. You've got the extended version in there, which we call the business growth tracker in the Lifestyle Business Builder program. But in that coach's calculator, you can actually look at what your numbers need to be for you to get this business off the ground. We design your high value program, and then we do the work to fill that up and get the clients sharing the journey along the way, even drip feeding some of the content on social media. Then you land with what works, what people love, what people don't care about. That's what then gets put into your website. The other thing that I would say, if you're at a stage where you're ready to build your website, is get your hands on a copy of, Donald Miller's brand story. Let me just look in my Audible. I'm just going to double check that that's what it is called. I'm pretty sure that's what it is called. Yes, the story brand. Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. That's a really great book to listen to literally guide you through what's required on your website. Highly recommend that. Lucy says, sounds like an epic boot amp. It's going to be an epic boot camp for sure. Lucy, can't wait to get stuck into it. And Marty says, yes, Build a Story Brand. Fantastic book. Absolutely love it. And it's a really good one for just stepping through how to get your website off the ground. But please remember, if you're at level 1, 2, or 3, don't be wasting time around that. Be all out on getting client results, sharing content on social media, finding your voice, and being visible. Remember when Amy did her masterclass with us, Amy Springhall, the founder of Edge PR and Communications, she said the number one thing that she would recommend people in business do is be visible. No more hiding, folks. All right, that's it for me for Top Tip Tuesday. Thank you all for tuning in. I love that we get so many people up here every morning. It's fantastic. I really appreciate your eyeballs on me. Michelle Jules Parson says, imagine if I had to put up my Myrtle the Turtle on my website. Now, for those that don't know, in joke here, Michelle Jules Parson is obviously a funeral celebrant, and when she was starting out in business, she actually got invited to do a few pet funerals. One for a turtle, the turtle was named Myrtle. She did another couple, I think they were for dogs. We were chatting about this over lunch yesterday and having a laugh, actually. But Michelle has decided no longer is she a pet funeral celebrant. She's a high value celebrant, and no longer is she the organic celebrant, which she used to be. And she used to have blades of grass and stuff on her branding. You know, when we first started the Lifestyle Business Builder, that was a big shift for Michelle, was just an extreme makeover on the branding. But when that happened, she started to increase her value, and no longer were we doing pet funerals, and that would never make it on the website these days. And your website today, Michelle, looks beautiful. Your branding is stunning. Thank you for the tip today. All right, Sue says, I love the gold you deliver, Jody Neville. Thank you. You're about to strap in, Sue, because we have got 4 days of freaking pure business building gold at the boot camp. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Coaching call, 10 o'clock Adelaide time as usual. I hope I'll see some of you there. Bye-bye.